John Locke once said, "What worries you masters you." Welcome to McBain Moments. All right, as always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Make sure you take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. What worries you masters you. I mean, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. The thing that dominates your life is the thing that you are most worried about. What concerns you right now? Money? Where your next meal is coming from? Keeping a roof over your head? Making sure your car is fixed? Problems at your job? These worries dominate your thinking, and they are pervasive. They can worm their way into your brain, and they take over every aspect of your life. And they affect your mood, they affect your attitude, they can affect how you deal with your family. And so you need to ask yourself, if you may not even know what's worrying you. That's the most ironic thing. You may not even know what it is that most concerns you right now. So one of the things you should do is look yourself in the mirror and say, what is bothering me the most right now? You might even want to take a notebook and write it down. In fact, I encourage that. What is bothering me the most right now? And then why? Why is this a concern? And it might be obvious, I'm not making enough money, so I can't feed my kids. It's a pretty damn big concern. But it might be something more esoteric, like I'm worried I'm not performing well enough at work. Well, how do you resolve that? You ask your boss and say, hey, I feel like I'm underperforming. What's your opinion? Or how am I doing at my job? What can I do to make it a little better? And so you write these things down. You write down your concern. You write down why it concerns you, and then you come up with a possible solution. Because when you try to solve the problem becomes smaller. Problems become bigger when they're unaddressed. When you make attempts to solve them, they become smaller. And your initial solution may not be the good solution. It may not even be a solution. It might just be a step in the right direction. But every step you take shrinks the problem down, makes the worry smaller. And of course, there's always the irony about these things. The more problems you solve, the more problems you wind up with. But here's the thing. They're different problems. And finding new problems means you're succeeding, unless you're creating those problems for yourself. Your solution to your problem may be to jump into a bottle, but then you got another problem called alcoholism, and that's not success. So take it with a grain of salt, but you know what I mean. You had a problem of you think that your job performance isn't doing great, so you go to your boss, you find out how to do better, you get promoted. Well, now you've got a problem of having to not only guide yourself, but 4 other people. That's a new problem. That's a good problem to have. And so as you continue to solve these problems, as you continue to whittle away at your worries, new worries are going to filter in. But the thing you need to remember is you cannot let it master you. You can't let that be the dominant thing in your brain. The dominant thing in your brain has to be whatever your end goal is. Because if you let the worries master you, your world does this. And suddenly you've got blinders on, and all you can see is the worry. All you can see is the concern. You can't see the bigger picture anymore because you're so focused on what's happening right here. And you might not see the opportunity that's just on the side of the blinder. That opportunity might solve the worry that you've got in your face. But if you can't see the opportunity because you're too focused, then you could end up stuck there for a very long time. It's all a matter of perspective. And this is something that was actually taught to me quite a few years ago. Look at your worries and ask yourself, is this a $5 problem or a $500 problem? Is it a $5 problem or a $500 problem? If it's a $5 problem, why are you so worried about it? $5 problems have $5 solutions. They're pretty easy to come up with. And it doesn't strictly mean actual money. The idea is the size of the problem, right? If it's this big, it only requires a solution that's this big. If it's this big, well, you might have to break it into different chunks and solve each chunk individually. But no matter how big the problem is, no matter how big the worry is that you have, 99 times out of 100, there is a solution for it. All you have to do is look at it, write it down, reduce it to writing, and you'll realize it may not be as big a problem as you thought it was. What worries you masters you. Don't let it. This has been a McBain moment.